Hello and welcome to episode 171 of the 77 Club. Harry, start with socials.
The Wall 77 Club on Facebook and Instagram, at 77 Club Podcast on Twitter. Please subscribe and tell a friend.
Dan Bayliss is here.
Hello, Wolves fans.
And Jack Williams. Are
Hello,
you drinking
everybody.
wine?
I am drinking wine. It's a
White.
a vintage white Co-op £5 bottle of Pinot Grigio. So
It's a vintage baby sham.
Right, Harry, we're starting West Ham at home. Nobody had any high hopes. I mean, I said that we'd win last week in the predictions because I always do. Never thought it would actually happen. Podence comes in for Trincao. I think we called it. Maybe we probably wanted Traore to start, but to be fair, Podence performed brilliantly, I thought. But what were your thoughts on that game to begin with?
First of all, yeah, I'm really shocked with how the game went. Obviously, we couldn't have predicted it. We all thought we might get beat quite convincingly. And we didn't do what I wanted us to do, though, which was fly out the traps. But that don't matter because what we did do worked. We just grew into the game gradually. We made West Ham look pretty ordinary, in my opinion. You know, for a team that are third in the league, you'd never have thought that if you didn't know. And we just grew into the game and we deserved to win. We had the more chances. We had the better created chances. And it was a really, really good performance. One of the best overall performances of the season. And fair play, man, because I did not see it coming. And Jack says it all the time. When Wolves are meant to be underdogs, they all seem to just pull something out of the bag. And they've done it again and got a really big win.
Jack, I think you called it, because I'd said it a couple of times on the podcast, is that I thought Bruno had been out-tacticked in a couple of games this season, Crystal Palace being the most recent one. But I think you made the point that he pretty much got it spot on this time around.
I think he absolutely did. I know you've been quite critical of him, and other people have, of his tactics and various things. You know, his substitutions, and particularly the way he set up in the Palace game, because that was a really poor performance, really, wasn't it? All round, we created very little and just looked out of ideas. But he's turned it around completely. It's actually probably one of my favourite. Maybe even my favourite game of the season, apart from Villa, because remember how negative we all were last week on this podcast? I think someone said 3-1, I said 2-1 defeat, someone else said bloody 4-1 or something stupid. And yeah, we just didn't see it coming, but everyone just played really well. You can't really fault anybody again. It was just really good performances, and we kept a West Ham side that have been in great form, banging them in for fun, and just kept them really quiet. And really, apart from one or two chances, what did they create? The man Antonio kept really, really quiet by, Kilman, fair play to him. And, Neves ran the show. It was honestly just one of those great performances. And you look back at it and you think, really, we created such good chances that we could have really got one or two, really. And what did they create apart from like one half header and one half chance in the second half? Very little. So all round, I think it's one of the best team performances we had under Bruno, no doubt.
Bayliss, would you say it's fair that you get mentioned a lot now on Wolves Twitter?
I think what I find is that he or shall not be named had an exceptional game. No taking away from it. I sat next to Harry on the day because we all switch around on our season tickets and we end up sat next to anybody. But I thought first half he made quite a few mistakes that we had a good chuckle about, and second half he was absolutely superb. And I've been saying it. Thing is, right, I'm happy to praise where praise is due. Very, very good performance. Really good. Got forward, did exactly what I've been saying for months. Break the line, attack defenders, try and get round the back, create chances. Did all of that. Did all of it. But it's what we haven't seen for quite a while. I mean, the shot he had, yeah, I know we've just seen Carney at a cow's arse. Doesn't matter. That's a speculative chance and he tried his best. And it was a very good block, actually, Martin. It was a better block than it was an effort. But he had the dodgy first half. He did a couple of things where he mistracked the ball. Harry, you were sat next to me laughing and I wasn't saying a word.
Everyone turns to you now, don't they? Every time he does it. Oh.
The second half was so good in terms of, but it was more about Wolves' play. It was, why haven't we done this for months? He got forward, he tried to break the line, and we got around the back. That's what I've been asking for. That's why I've been critical. And now we've seen it. So now I'm happy. I'm not convinced because I think defensively, when we play good teams, there are still things that exposes he who shall not be named. But that game against West Ham, who are a bloody good team, and we all said it, we're all really negative. We did everything Wolves could have done. And I think man for man, as Jack said, we were brilliant. I can't think of a negative, which is really weird. I'd love to sit here and hammer someone, but I can't think of a single negative to talk about the game. I thought the first 20 minutes were pretty fair and even. Both teams had a bit of a chance, tried to get into the game. Wolves then dominated. And after our time, we dominated even more. And if we can continue to do that, then good things lurk. But let's now go and do it against the Burnleys and also against the Liverpools. Even if we lose 1 or 2-0 against Liverpool, a good showing would be fantastic. And to keep doing it against teams below us and put performances in like that, that's how you get 6th, 7th, 8th in the league.
Harry, I think the BBC viewers put Sarr in the team of the week, weirdly. I mean, a clean sheet and a couple of decent saves from him, but I thought the standout person was Raul and probably Podence as well. And I thought Neves had a great game. But it fell to our Mexican, who finished it like he hadn't been away and just swept it, didn't he, into that far corner. And, what a week to be doing it. He seems to be scoring all the time, and he's done it in the week that documentary Code Red comes out.
Yeah, great goal. The build-up obviously started off with Semedo giving it to Podence, and then Podence cut it back onto the edge of the box. And I wanted Traoré to start, but as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, I'm glad Podence did in hindsight because he had a really, really good game. And Ruben Neves, man, the bloke's just ridiculous. Not only is he quality, I'm going to steal a phrase off Bayliss here, he works harder than a bloody one-arm bricklayer, doesn't he? He's everywhere on that pitch, and he's just a standout, and he's in the best form of his career, and you've got to give credit to Bruno Lage for that. I remember at the beginning of the first podcast we did on the way back, and we had Aaron on, and Aaron said, he's really... Because we thought Neves might go to Man United, and he said if Neves stays, he thinks he'll be like our player of the season. He's made a great prediction there, hasn't he? Because he is. And also Kilman, when we were hanging on at the end, Kilman won absolutely everything at the back. Everything. Solid.
Did you see the video that was put on the Twitter sphere of Wolves doing a training run and then it happening in the game?
Really? Yeah. No, I didn't see
that. Absolutely unbelievable. Literally exactly the same thing. Get the ball out wide, beat the men in midfield, dink it in, pass it out wide, cut back, shoot from the edge of the box.
Can I just ask something, Bayliss? Do you know when there's been a massive debate online? Did Neves shoot or was that a pass? Did Neves shoot or did he pass when that one with the outside of his foot that went out to Moutinho?
It's definitely a pass. He looks over as he does it.
I thought Bayliss would say it was a shot.
It's definitely a pass.
It's definitely a pass. Loads of people are saying it's a shot because obviously everyone was going shoot and then he hit it and then the West Ham fans went way, but they went straight from Moutinho to Podence and Podence nearly scored, didn't he? But
the thing is, I know that everyone said Neves was exceptional, and I completely agree. He was fantastic. Wasn't my man of match.
Who's yours? Semedo.
Kilman. Kilman. That is the best performance I've seen by a Wolves defender since Lee Naylor ran down the line and stuck one 28 yards up the North Bank.
Hungry Like the Wolf said, I think beating the other 14 is how you get in the top half of the table. I mean, that would pretty much guarantee you 6th, I think, on that match.
Cheers, Nostradamus.
Jack, Max Kilman, you've spoken very fondly of him, I think, ever since he came into the side under Nuno, and he seems to be getting stronger every game. Harry put a post out earlier saying how underrated is this guy, and it's something that you probably disagree with because you've never thought he's underrated.
Well, no, it's something that we said quite a few times, and it makes you think back to who was it? He came out and said Nuno has his favourites. Who made that quote when they were leaving?
Cutrone.
Oh, Cutrone. Yeah, of course it was. Sorry, it does make you think because I always said from Max Kilman is apart from the first few games where he came in, really he's never done anything wrong, and he'd always lose his place as soon as either Bolly or Sace became back available because obviously that's probably who Nuno trusts more, but. He's an absolute presence, and like I said, he just did an absolute job on their attack and Antonio really. And you don't realise until you actually see him. He's a big lad, isn't he? He's a big lad. He's a tall lad. Yeah. And Harry, I think you said he was like a magnet second half because the ball just went towards his head every time, didn't it? And he's a strong, he's tall, he's good with his feet, obviously, because he used to play futsal, as everybody now knows. But so fair play to him. He's come in and he's really cemented his position. And in my opinion, he's our best defender so far this year by some stretch. And I hope he keeps up his form for because he's been given this chance now under the new management. I hope he absolutely grabs it with both hands because I really, really do rate him.
I'm going to another member of the group who speaks highly of central defenders, Harry, obviously. Cody, good game against Antonio, in fairness.
Yeah, got to give him credit. And Sace. The only shaky moment I can remember is when Bowen had that chance when he skied it. Sace had a bit of a shaky moment then. But apart from that, it's brilliant. And I've seen a stat earlier, like going forward, we hadn't scored that many goals, but our defensive record, which we mentioned a few weeks ago, is brilliant. So as much as we do moan about the lack of options there and the fact that Cody and Sace are probably not the quality we need if we want to progress and break the top six, you can't moan. They're doing well. They're keeping games tight, and they're keeping us in games to win, like they did against West Ham. Kept us in the game. We got the winner.
And Bayliss, this time round, would you rather have Uncle Ben than Declan Rice?
A big microwavable, steamy bag of Uncle Ben, please.
Harry, where does it compare into performances of the season so far? Because we always seem to reset to those first 3 games, don't we? And go, that was absolutely peak Bruno ball and 3 losses. But where does this stand in those first sort of, was it 13 games?
It's definitely up there, but I think we were probably slightly better first half against Everton, but that's probably because Everton were a worse team on the day with the team they put out. But yeah, just a controlled performance, wasn't it? I think West Ham had a bit of an off day, which helped, definitely. Obviously, Antonio had just come back from Jamaica or something, hadn't he? So he was a bit off it, but still, great performance. He's definitely in the top 2 this season, performance-wise, and I'm glad we come out with a win.
Bayliss, sometimes we talk about those substitutions not coming early enough. What did you think of them this way around?
I think it made a lot of difference, really, the subs to the game. I thought we were so dominant that what we were doing was more to manage the game than try and change it. So it's a weird context, isn't it? We've been used to having to change a game to try and go and get something from it, whereas West Ham, I haven't seen us control a game like that for quite a while. It was refreshing, really. So I don't think the subs part was more to control the game rather than win it, as I said, and it's really hard to critique that because we did hold on and we did keep it to 1-0. I think on balance, I think all of you, tell me if you disagree. I think we deserve to win that probably 2-0, if not maybe one more.
Well, Traore could have made it 2.
I was going to say, that chance. Yeah. It was similar to Villa, wasn't it? When you burst through and.
Shocker, should have passed. But it shocked me what you said at the start, Sam, about Jose Sarr being in the team of the week, because I'm really struggling to think about what he had to do, really.
They had 2. They had 1 in the first half, and then the Antonio chance in the second. That was it.
Yeah, but Owen, wasn't it?
He didn't pull off like a wonder save, did he?
It wasn't like anything like spectacular. There was a few shots, particularly a few from like long way off that he just caught and stuff, but there wasn't any worldy saves like he's a good shot stopper like we've seen in previous weeks. Someone's just put in the comments said about Ait-Nouri and loving Ait-Nouri's swingers, which I agree with at the time. He put some great balls in, didn't he? He did. I really like the one.
Where so good at swinging.
I love the one where he dummied it and then ended up taking it anyway, and then sort of ran back because that really caught him off guard. The one thing I will say is I watched the whole game back on the Sunday night when I was sober, and it does seem like about for every one ball he puts in that's good, he puts in one that's not so good. So it's kind of like a 50-50 sort of balance.
I think his delivery is better than Martinho's, though. He whipped in at least 3 or 4 that were very good balls.
Martinho's delivery is usually just 5 yards to the player next to him, isn't it? For a short corner. But
Go on, Harry.
Can I just put something out there, right? Because there was that clip going around on Twitter of that West Ham fan. Obviously, he mentioned the Semedo thing, but the one that stuck out for me was him saying how loud the fans were. Now, I don't know about you three, and I'll keep banging on about this. I honestly thought, apart from when we scored, I thought the atmosphere was very, very dead again. And I was surprised because I thought Molyneux would be rocking. And I think, I don't know what you three thought.
Do you think it's where we sit?
No, I think no. Think back to like Man United at home in the cup, man. That was buzzing, wasn't it? Let's be honest. I think it helps. We haven't had a 5:30 kickoff or an 8 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday for a while.
Yeah,
and that does help, I think.
And
definitely.
That first season in the Premier League, obviously we were underdogs every week, haven't we? So the fans are raucous. They're getting behind the team now because of the position we're in. Always, comfortable in the Premier League, top 6 near enough. I think our fans just sit there thinking we're going to win, even against West Ham, who are 3rd in the league. That's probably the problem, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do a man of the match. We'll start with you, Bayliss.
Kilman by a distance. I thought he was exceptional. I honestly can't pick a single thing he did wrong for 90 minutes. And to do that that's Premier League quality. That's top top quality.
Jack?
I think, again, maybe this is something to do with where we sit, but I walked away from that saying Kilman as well. But you think about where we sit in, in the North Bank, and we were defending that part second half. Maybe it is something to do with that. So I'll say Kilman, but obviously shout out to Neves, but also Semedo. You got to give Semedo a shout, because he also, in injury time, in the last 4 minutes, they had two promising moves down that left-hand side, and he stopped them dead, won the ball back, and played it to one of our players to relieve the pressure. So that's exactly what you want when the team's coming at you, is to just those sort of turnovers of the ball is what win you games, and arguably that could have won us the game on Saturday. So love it, great all-round performance, brilliant, really pleased, can't wait till the next game.
Harry, man of the match?
Yeah, I'm just going to echo what Jack said there about Kilman. I definitely think it's that Jack, because where we sit, he was literally right in front of us winning everything. Yeah. He was just stopping, but it is Neves. Neves was man of the match, but I definitely see why Kilman's a shout, definitely.
Just a final point there. Hungry Like the Wolf says Traore is desperate to score, to try and get into the team more regularly. He was never going to pass for that chance. Because we were saying last week, weren't we, Harry, that is this the end? Is stalling on the contracts? He is showing a little bit of willing now, and I suppose is that greed a good thing, or is it a detriment to the team?
Detriment to the team. He should have passed. I think this confirms something is going on. We say it every week. Podence to start. He would be a starter, man. If there was no issues with his contract, Traore would start. And now I think Podence will not get dropped. Hwang had a quiet game, I thought, so maybe he could be someone who'd come out. But until this gets sorted, I think Traore will continue to be on the bench, definitely. And he should have passed.
Jack?
Yeah, I mean, the contract situation is a weird one, and the fact it seems to have been nearly done and then not done, a few times in the last, nearly year or so.
Yeah.
But I agree, but also, like we've said it a million times, I don't think it's a bad thing if Traore's on the bench, because as long as you bring him on before 88 minutes, he can change a game, particularly if he's in the mood. So it wouldn't dishearten me too much if against Norwich he is on the bench, because you do know if somehow it's going wrong after 70 minutes, he can come on and change it if Bruno Lage allows him to. But he's a great player also to bring on in those situations, like when you're 1-0 up and you're up against a good team, because he's your outball and you know that you give it to him, he can run half the length of the pitch with it and no one can touch him. So yeah, it'll be a shame if it ends just with his contract running out or something. And I think they'll do everything they can to offload him in January, but there's only got half a season left on his contract. We're not going to get anywhere near the 50 million odd that people were shouting, before. It's going to be more like 15, 20. So yeah, I hope they can sort something out, to be honest with you, because he's a very valuable squad player, even if it is from the bench.
Baelish, you have called him the Deontay Wilder of football in the past. I mean, I don't know if it stacks up now with having lost about 9 times to Tyson Fury, but we get your point.
No, well, I think it actually makes the context even clearer that he did all that hard work, ran, beat all his men, and then did nothing at the end. Just like that big dosser that got knocked out of Spark.
18 months left on his contract, apparently, as well. So
is it? I thought it was any.
Well, Wolves have got a choice.
He signed a 5-year deal, didn't he? So when he joined from Middlesbrough, so yeah,
he wants more money, doesn't he?
My mistake. I was under the impression that it was just only half a season left.
Keeps his
If
value.
I was going to let him go, though, I would only let him go abroad. I wouldn't let him back in the Premier League.
Depends who comes in for him, I suppose, doesn't it? If there's no takers, I don't know who would take him really, and he probably would only go. Would he go back to Barcelona? I mean, he's not going to get in the PSG side, is he? I suppose we're looking at quite highbrow players, and realistically, if you look at Traore without Wolves tinted glasses on, it's a little bit different. Hence,
oh my lord, someone actually agreed.
Martin's pissed.
This is twice in 2 weeks.
But let's well, there's usually swathes of people, so it's going down. Let's look at Norwich, Harry. We were a bit nervous a couple of weeks back. What was it? What game was it? It might have been the Everton game, actually, when we were looking at Norwich and going, oh my God, they haven't won a game yet. Won a game since, and got some good results in the Premier League now. I always thought they were the whipping boys. I think they're probably still going to be one of the worst ever Premier League sides. And I know I shouldn't be saying this in the run up to us playing them, but I just have. So do with that.
Well, they've also got a new manager. So all of a sudden they've got 2 wins, new manager, new lease of life. And it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a really tough game. I was thinking a few weeks ago we'd go there and win easily, but now I don't. We've got to be on it. We've got to get it right, and if we do get it right, we will beat them. There's no doubt about it. But tough place to go. It's the other end of the world, isn't it? It's like driving to Australia and to get there. So hopefully the players
well
can
known that 130 miles over 13,000.
It depends where you start your journey, Dan. To be fair.
They've got their threat, haven't they? And I can never pronounce his name. Pookie. I'm saying Pookie, but it is Pookie. Yeah, they've got their threats. They've got some decent players, but we'll do them, hopefully. But I'm a bit nervous, and it's not going to be as straightforward as most people would expect, I don't think.
Jack, do you think they'll be 2-0 up with 10 minutes to go and throw it all away? Dean Smith's at the wheel.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to make the point of they're up against obviously a team with a new manager, but arguably, like, we broke Villa with that comeback, and arguably 100%. Cost him his job, I think, because we mentally screwed them after that. If you watch the game they played after Arsenal, it was like they never played football before. It was really, really bad. So maybe he'll have a point to prove. So I agree, it's maybe more nervous than I would have been if they were, still under, what was his name?
Can't remember.
Falk.
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. But I'm still really looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm absolutely buzzing. It's I was sort of sat at work on Tuesday afternoon. I'm just counting down the days for the next game of football because I loved it Saturday. It was great to have a Saturday 3:00. It was went up. We had a few beers. We had a great laugh. We had a nice evening.
Weird after. For me.
You mean you enjoyed 15 pints, a curry, and a Wolves win?
Yeah, it's just very easy. And so hopefully it could be more of the same. But I just wanted to the only like concern probably at the back of my mind is that we seem to be really turning up for home games, but not so much the away games lately. And that's something we need to break if we're going to be challenging, the top 7 or 8 in the league. And we need to be beating teams like Norwich. And also, if you think about the next 2 games we've got coming up against Norwich and Burnley, before our run gets a hell of a lot harder, we need to be arguably taking 4 points minimum from these 2 games, I think, really, just to give us that little bit of breathing space as we go into a really difficult run in December.
Bayliss, 2 out of 3 maybe won't be bad for you this weekend because, there could be a Wolves win. There could be a curry, but are you going to be on your best behaviour and avoiding the 15 pints? Because you've got to take the father-in-law out.
I am. That is true. I am taking my father-in-law, who is a Scotsman. And isn't massively into football, but he wanted to see a Wolves game and to try, bond with me. So I'm taking him to Norwich away because he lives near Norwich. I'm looking forward to it. I think I might get all 3 there. I think I'm going to have lots of pints because he's Scottish and they're all alcoholic. Maybe 3 heroin because that's a national sport. A curry afterwards and a Wolves win. And
your bonding is going to go so well.
You offend someone every week, don't you? It was Leeds the other week. Now it's the Scottish people.
I can't help myself. I'm sorry.
Are you going to actually, if you go for a curry, you're going to stay until the bill comes? Are you going to run away just before it comes?
Actually, I do owe you some money. I do owe you some money. That's fair enough. I had to leave before the bill came on Sunday.
Yeah, of course you did. Yeah.
In all fairness, you live in the middle of town. And I live in the middle of nowhere, so I did have to get a lift home. I'm also going to nip for a very quick week. I'll be back shortly.
Harry, you said that maybe we'll see Podence keeping his place in the side. I think he absolutely warrants a starting berth. Are there any other changes? Is this a game for Traore? We keep saying it, but I think the contract situation, as you said before, is going to play a factor in it. So are there any other changes across the pitch you can see, or is it about if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Yeah, I'd keep it the same. Definitely, unless Bruno's got some kind of tactical thoughts in his head, and maybe he might bring Trincao back in. So Trincao was ready to come on when he didn't come on in the end against West Ham right at the death. But so will he keep Hwang in there? Maybe. I saw someone say in the comments earlier, I forget now. They say even though Hwang was quiet, they still like what he's been doing, and even when he ain't played too well, Hwang has been popping up with some goals, hasn't he? So I think we'll keep him in too. So yeah, same team.
Someone also said in the comments they'd just like to see Cody drop for Bolly just to see what happens. But I mean, I don't think that's going to happen, is it, Jet? No, and everyone knows we've been quite critical of Cody on this podcast over the last couple of years, but it ain't broke at the moment. The defence isn't broke, and I'm one who said before that I'd rather see Bolly come in for Saints. But again, if you look at the tables, it's not the goals we're conceding; it's the fact we're still not scoring quite enough. And if we can turn that round, granted, we've had the shots and we've had the chances, particularly in the first few games of the season. But I think if we can turn that scoring 1 goal a game into 2 goals a game and keep the defence the same, we're going to start flying because we're doing well to be in 6th with the only scoring 12 goals this season. So I don't think the defence is the problem. I think they've actually done really well this season, let's be honest. So
I'm happy to leave it as it is.
Yeah, and Harry, I suppose, 8 Nori is performing well at both ends of the pitch, so his place seems safe.
Yeah, definitely. I even when Marcel was in the team as a starter, I kept saying, didn't I, every week, I want 8 Nori to come in. He's more of a natural left wing back, great at getting forward, and his weakness was defending, but he's doing okay defensively as well, isn't he? So keep him in, man.
Bayliss, any changes?
Well, you can't change near perfection, can you? So, to be honest, like I haven't watched a Wolves performance that was that good in a long time. Honestly, I can't wipe the smirk off my face for how good we were. I work with a lot of West Ham fans, and I walked in Monday morning just like that, and got told to fuck off so often. And I really enjoyed it. We were just perfect. We controlled the game, which we haven't done in a while. So I'm not changing anything from that.
So you wouldn't bring Hoover in for Semedo?
If our wing backs can get in, if our wing backs can do what they did against West Ham and break that midfield line and drive at goal, like we've asked them to for months and months and months, it was perfect. The goal was perfect. It was textbook. It was liquid football.
I mean, we're doing very well against teams in claret and blue this season, to be fair. So I can't wait to play Burnley, which is it's not something I ever thought I'd say. Let's do a score prediction, Harry.
It's coming in, lads. Finally, 4-1 Wolves win.
Just the same every week, and it's this week. It's definitely going to happen. It's definitely.
If there is a God.
Maybe next week. If there is a God. Jack.
3-1 Semedo.
Wow, big shout.
I think mate, he had the chance of the first goal on last time. After we said that last season, he scored against Man United in the last game, didn't he? So,
on that point, what's the bet that we've got, Bayliss?
Do you know what's weird? I pre-prepared these bets, and the one I picked was 3-1 Semedo. So we'll wait.
We've got to back it now, haven't we?
But what's the Christmas bet? The Boxing Boxing Day was it?
By Christmas Day, Semedo has to have scored for Wolves. And if Semedo has scored by Christmas Day, the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ, then
in Bethlehem.
I'm not religious, by the way. I don't believe in any sort of nonsense. What I was saying, if Semedo scores before Christmas Day, then on Boxing Day at the Watford game, I'll walk in the Wolves shop, buy a home or away or third choice shirt of their choosing with N Semedo 22 on the back. If he hasn't scored by Christmas Day, then the next game of my choosing, they have to pay for my entire day. Beers, curry, the lot, up to the value of a Wolves.
But you did on Saturday, didn't I?
You better go and buy that shirt. Oh dear!
I love the way that you've now offended all of Scotland and 2/3 of the world's population.
Bloody good effort that is. On that note, let's get your latest betting odds and ticket news.
Well, if you're still listening, I'm still here.
It's a miracle.
So I've gone and done a few scorecasts, and it's a little bit weird out there. Wolves are quite short, as I suppose you'd probably expect away at Norwich, but I think it's a fact. The one I actually fancy and the one I'm probably going to put some money on is 2-0 Wolves, Jimenez to get the first goal, 25-1. I think he's coming into his own now. He's looking pretty good. Norwich played well against Southampton, but I think we did a bit of a job on Southampton. They didn't look that great. So 2-0 Wolves, Jimenez to score first, 25-1 is a nice hedge of a bet. If you want to go a bit broader, 2-1 Wolves, Hwang to score first, 40-1. The one I was quite like, if you're going to go 2-0, Sace tends to pop up in these sort of games. And a 2-0 Wolves Sace is 95-1.
Little back post header.
Yeah, and you know what? Stranger things have happened. But one thing that won't happen is Nelson Semedo to score first, a 3-1 Wolves.
135-1.
It's
yeah,
not
it's going to be
short,
I
big
reckon.
as you think. Yeah, I'd
That's
say
what
it's
she
maybe
said.
about 250. Go on.
You know, 450
Wow.
to 1.
Oh, mate.
Wow.
Tenner on that. Definitely going to have that bet.
Excellent. Jack, ticket news.
Ticket news. So, start with the home games. The Burnley game, which is that midweek Wednesday one, which is a 7:30 on Amazon Prime, has made its general sale, unsurprisingly.
What?
Which is partly helped by the fact that the Burnley fans are only taking the quadrant. So there's still a fair few blocks available in the Steve Ball lower. So that's a good opportunity for people who are struggling to get home tickets. They're on general sale now. So anybody, I think, who's got a purchase history is able to get to them. As we all know, Liverpool game's been sold out. Good luck getting a ticket for that. And also the Chelsea game, which is Sunday the 19th of December, the Chelsea home game. That went on sale as of yesterday to the Membership Plus, and there's not many left. I think a lot of the Membership Plus people are taking a lot of those. So probably won't be that many left to go on sale to the members tomorrow, and that's one's going to sell out quite quickly, really, with the way Chelsea are flying. The away games, we know Norwich is sold out. I got my ticket today, actually, for the Man City away game, and that one sold quite quickly as well. I think it's only the very, very upper blocks, right up in the gods, that are actually left that are going to make it a bit further down the points. So I can't see those waiting very long. And then you get to Brighton. So Brighton is another 7:30 Amazon Prime special on Wednesday, the 15th of December. So I think I said before, it's like 10 days before Christmas, and it's a Wednesday. And that one, I think, is actually going to make its general sale as well, which is unknown for away games.
I might end up going now that my holiday's been cancelled. So.
Oh, Dan, you can actually just buy a ticket if you want now. Yeah, it's so I think they go on general sale tomorrow, and there's a few hundred left, and it kind of defeats the. It's a bit of a contentious issue about Wolves fans that the away games are a closed shop, but this one definitely isn't a closed shop. If you want a ticket, you'll be able to get it. And I've seen people trying to flog their tickets on like social media, trying to sell. Got 5 Brighton tickets for sale. Does anyone want them? Yeah. Everyone's like, no, thank you. No, I don't want them. Especially if they're on general sale or going to the members or whatever it is, then yeah, I think there'll be
there'll be gaping holes in the away end then? Do you think on telly we'll see loads of patches?
There's only a couple of hundred left, and I might be saying it's going on. Let me just check the ticket information, because it might not be. I think it's going to go to members, not actually.
Have you not been checking the ticket information through this? You're just making up.
Oh yeah,
I'll better check it. Yeah. Oh no, there was something.
Yeah, it's on the members tomorrow, and then it's on general sale as a Saturday, and there's still tickets left. So there's going to be so many flying around for that, and I think people who've bought them just for the points might struggle to offload them, because you can get them quite easily. So we'll see about that, but I'm looking forward to it, actually. But it's not as far for me as it is for the majority of Wolves fans.
I'd love to go to that, but as you mentioned, Wednesday.
Does it put to bed all of the, when people are having arguments on Wolves Twitter about not being able to go to games and stuff? Does this put that to bed now?
Because it's a Wednesday night at the bottom of the country.
Well, I don't know, but the thing is,
but
the thing is, you have to remember is if you spend the season going to the games that nobody else wants to go to, it puts you in a better position in the queue next season. So you have to kind of just take a year of just going to,
I think you still have to do it. You still have to get lucky enough to get a few.
Well, I don't know. I think,
and we need a cup run to do that, which makes it harder.
I miss the League One days when if you wanted to go to an away game, you could just ring up and get a ticket like on the day if you wanted.
Yeah,
where you could ring up the ticket office and it'd be open.
Was it Port Vale away where we only took about 1,000?
No,
we sold that out. We sold that out.
It was about 3,000 Port Vale. It was great.
What was the one we went to, Jack? Me and you went to, and there was literally only 1,000 Wolves fans there.
Oh God, Dan, I don't know. I've been to a lot of Wolves games in the last 8 years. But I mean, even in the Championship, I didn't go to all the away games or anything, and I comfortably got them in the one in the Premier League where we went up. Like I probably went to about 6 or 7 that promotion winning season. And that was enough to put me at the front of the queue for the Premier League. So it's not like you have to have been going to all of them. But yeah, I mean, now's your chance and build your points up, and you can use them hopefully next season. And I think actually also the Europa League games did help, because they're just difficult for everyone to get to. Because obviously Thursday, particularly the Turin game, because we all managed to get tickets for that, but it was just a week turnaround, wasn't it, really, between us knowing who we were going to play and where we had to go. So
probably those days.
Well, Harry did. Let's see what we talk about next. I was going to say the Row documentary. I haven't watched it yet, actually. You watched it, haven't you, Harry?
Yeah. And none of you watched it?
Were you cutting onions?
I don't think I can watch. I don't think I can watch that Impact again.
They didn't really show
don't show it. They cut it out before it hits. Like, obviously, because it'd be a bit mad to show it again, wouldn't it? If you watch it, Jack.
You heard the noise. Yeah, I watched it. I really enjoyed it, actually. I watched it on Sunday. It's quite interesting because they talk to his family and everything and all this sort of stuff. So it's definitely worth a watch. Yeah, Nuno seemed quite upset by the whole thing. He was sobbing.
Oh yeah. He said the sound will haunt him forever, I think. And it was. Yeah. I mean, you like, I don't know. It sounded like a post breaking, didn't it? It was horrible.
The thing that got me, obviously, I watched it, but they put a lot of the best bits in the trailer. You know that 3-minute trailer they released on Twitter. So
right. It's like,
you know, like Nuno crying. Obviously, I'm talking to Raul on that. The only bit that I thought was really good is at the end when after we played Tottenham when we lost 1-0 this season, Raul FaceTimed all his family of his missus at the end. That was really good because he was talking about how like he's never heard the Si Senor song so loud, and obviously appreciates the fact he's back on the pitch. And I did a video on my own YouTube channel talking about it, and the stat that stood out for me was 301 days, that goal against Southampton away. That's mad, isn't it? Less than a year after an injury like that, and he's back scoring.
Yeah,
crazy. What a character to get back as quick as he has, and to be playing like he is now,
and to be scoring goals like he is.
Yeah.
There is a bit of luck in it.
Oh yeah, I mean he's unlucky it happened. To be fair,
yeah,
and he's lucky that it didn't.
Yeah.
Wasn't worse.
Yeah, but even he's been extremely lucky that the injury didn't, stop him from playing. But still, the mental strength he's had to have to get back as quick as he has, because it's trauma, isn't it? Look,
he's had to learn how to head the ball again, hasn't he? I mean, that's the most.
Have you seen it when he had that big helmet on? Did you see that on the documentary, Jack?
Yeah,
he's playing like head tennis. He had like his massive helmet on. Like that was only 6 months ago. It's just a lot of people wouldn't want to head a ball again, would they? Never mind.
It's mad that you could do something completely inconspicuous, slip over, and never walk again, or not be able to talk again. Yeah. And he gets absolutely hammered in the side of the head and plays football within a year.
Man.
Yeah, true.
I think we also actually just need to give him credit for his goal. Thinking about it on Saturday, because we missed better chances than the one that he actually had, because he had to place that exactly where he placed it to score, and it's a great finish to hit it first time like that.
Oh, it's a serious finish. That.
Yeah. Fair play.
Chaotic Rager says Raul's family love his younger brother with a spit of him. Can he play up front? Is he better than Fabio Silva? That's the question.
I hope you don't mind me saying this, but a friend of the show, Finners, literally goes out for dinner and everything with the little brother. He's like best mates with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's always with him at Grillit in Wolverhampton. So I hope you don't mind me saying that, Finn. But
does his family live up in?
No. They live in obviously Mexico, but I think they come over to visit, don't they, to watch the games and that every so often.
Cool.
Yeah.
Another injured player who looks like coming back into training. There was the video of Johnny last week. I cannot wait to get Johnny back. I think he's one of our, if not our best defender. Bruno Jordao, Harry, looks like he's getting back into it. Bruno Lage says he's probably got until January to try and prove himself. It's probably unlikely that he's going to do that. He's going to, I guess, go out on loan on January, but can Wolves afford that?
I hope he's good enough, but he probably won't be, as you mentioned. And it's so mad how Neto's gone one way and then he went the other. We've said before, haven't we? And I think he looks a decent player. Well, I say that. I've seen him play 45 minutes in a League Cup game. So, yeah, I doubt he'll a feature. I think he will go out, on loan.
Excellent. So, I mean, Harry, you sent this tweet through from Ed Aarons, and I'm going to read it out so I don't get libelled. Portuguese authorities have searched the headquarters of Jorge Mendes' company, Gestifute, and the home of former Portugal midfielder Deco as part of an investigation into simulated deals entering into between two football clubs and third parties aimed at concealing income. Let's go to our money-loving expert, Dan Bayliss. Is any of this a shock?
I didn't really catch what they'd done wrong there. I haven't heard anything on this story. You're going to have to fill me in a little bit. Simulated deals. So basically like a Ponzi of moving cash for the sake of moving cash to make money.
It sounds like the alleged offence would be something along the lines of maybe inflating prices potentially, or
like Fabio Silva.
Well, yeah, because wasn't his release clause 10 million euros?
And the agent got like 8 million of that deal. So,
yeah,
I don't know if there's insider trading in football, to be perfectly honest. Like that's what it is, isn't it? Essentially,
Uncle George has been good to us, hasn't he? So let's not be too harsh on him. But if he's been a naughty boy, he's been a naughty boy. We might have to start shopping in the English market.
Jesse Lingard, anybody? Jack, is the dream over? Harry was wetting himself, but that's due to alcohol, I think.
I don't know much about this either, to be honest with you. And I'm not sure.
It's only just dropped on it, to be fair.
Read up on this. I don't know, but it might explain the Fabio Silva thing. But apart from that, everything's it's been pretty good, really. Can't really moan, but I hope some of our signings don't suddenly appear in the limelight. But as I said, I've not really seen anything, so I can't really comment.
Very, very wise. Excellent. Just finally, Manchester United's looking for a manager. Harry, you mentioned Traore potentially leaving in January. Do you think
their manager?
We won't be working on the shooting, that's for sure. Do you think a certain manager joining Manchester United would mean that there will be Wolves players who will be on the radar for them?
Well, I hope not. But, I think the reports coming out is that Carrick probably will keep the job to the end of the season, won't he? And then they're going to try and get Pochettino, I think, at the end of the year. I'm gutted that Solskjaer left because I wanted them to keep him because I think we would have finished above him if they did. But obviously, it was about time he got sacked. The funniest story that came out of it for me is when Steve Bruce put his name in the hat and said, I'll take it to the end of the year. I was like, Jesus Christ, mate. You are really clutching at straws there, my sunshine.
Really good sense of humour.
But they need a world-class manager, don't they? Let's be honest. You got like Pep, Klopp, and then Man United want to be pushing for the league, and they got Solskjaer, who's been Cardiff manager and some Norwegian team's manager.
Mouldy.
So it was never going to work, was it? And it's all a shambles. It's brilliant to watch. I love it because I love watching my United friends. They're bored. Ain't got a clue, have they? They ain't got a clue what they're doing.
I mean, the best thing that's come out of this week is Carrick winning last night in the Champions League and all the tweets at Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Carrick's at the wheel.
Sign the dotted line, write down some numbers.
Give him what he wants.
That's the thing, and it's like they haven't learned from the mistakes because they sacked a manager without a plan, brought in an interim, and then had to give them the job for 2.5 years. And the potentially the same thing can happen again because you don't sack somebody unless you got someone lined up.
Exactly.
At least when we let Nuno go, we got Bruno in pretty quickly. And at least when Spurs recently sacked Nuno, they moved for their man straight away. But with Man United, it's like, yeah, we sacked him because of that bad result, but we'll assess it in 7 months' time. See what happens.
I think they were expecting managers to be queuing out the door with their CV in their hand, and it just hasn't happened. Pochettino's
Rodgers, was it the other one?
We're going to lose 12th placed Leicester City. He's not pulling up trees in the league, is he?
Apparently, it's now the ex-Barcelona manager. To be honest,
Valverde. Yeah.
Let's not talk about Man United. They're a laughing stock.
It's quite interesting, though.
Brilliant that they're a laughing stock.
We've been in this position. We've been in this position though because when we sacked McCarthy, we put Terry Connor in charge, which was the most ridiculous.
League 13 times.
No, but I mean, in this situation, rather than living in 2014, like clearly you are, but it doesn't make sense to me to put a number 2 in charge if the team isn't performing well.
They're going to become Liverpool. They're going to become Liverpool. They are
really good.
They are. They're going to.
I didn't know you could change geographically.
They're going to become what Liverpool were for 20 years, where they're a bit of a laughingstock. They're a big team that won nothing, and that's now Man United.
They have been for the last 8 years, Bayliss, haven't they?
Yes,
really?
Since
Fergie left, they have literally become the Liverpool of the noughties, haven't they?
It's going to be absolutely brilliant. All these tourists flying over to watch utter dross. It's just great.
It is quite funny when you think about the Man United boardroom and they're thinking, right, hang on. If we sign Ronaldo, if we sign the best player in the world, we should be smashing it. And now they're 2 points behind Wolves. It's like, that's what the best player in the world gets you.
Best of it is that bet I've had with Jay, Sam. My mate Jay is a Man United fan. Like, I've had Wolves to finish top 10, 100 quid. And I'll just text him a screenshot of the table after Saturday. So it's going all right. And it's son, we're above you now.
Yeah. I tell you what, whilst we're talking about tweets, there's one thing I have to say. I've noticed a lot of tweets in the last couple of days saying best start Wolves have ever had in the
Bayliss was wrong about everything.
No,
Don't show Bayliss this.
One thing I would say is that we're yet to play anyone except West Ham above us. And we have had a great start.
That's not true, is it?
Not when we played them.
We're W, our alphabet. We start 20th, so first game straight away we play someone above us.
No, I mean right now we've still got to play Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea.
True.
Et al. I think we've played fantastically well, but there's a lot of work to do in the next month and a half, and it can change very quickly. I think Wolves fans don't get overly carried away yet.
We've had a favourable run.
Yeah,
but we've done well in that run, haven't we? We've had a few blips. Palace and Brentford are the ones that stand out, but we've.
And if we get results, if we beat Norwich and Burnley, get a result at Brighton, and win on Boxing Day, then fine. Take the losses everywhere else, but it doesn't take a lot for it to turn.
Yeah, but at the same time, I get that and I appreciate it, but with the way Wolves are now, even in that horrific run with no players, I can't see us losing every game. We're going to do a number on one of them, I think. We'll get something. And that's why it's really quite refreshing. And that's been the way since we came back up, really, is that we don't seem to change our mentality against who we're not intimidated by the big guys. We give it a go. I think the problem over December is really going to be the fact we lose 2 players and we've got a too smaller squad to be able to deal with it. So
still worries me that we didn't turn up against Palace.
Gonna have off days,
Yeah.
aren't we? We're gonna have off.
We are going to have tough days, but I'd love us to put a showing in against one of them. One of the, Arsenal away, to go and take a result from Arsenal away on the 28th would be fantastic. It's going to be a lot of Wolves fans break from work, travelling down to London. To go and stick a result in there would be big.
Excellent. Yeah, very level-headed from Bayliss at the end there. Right, well, we'll
As
say goodbye
always.
to Harry Mansell,
Yeah. Goodbye, everyone.
Jack Williams,
Love you. Bye.
and Dan Bayliss.
Yeah, goodbye, Wolves fans.
And it is a goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Goodbye.